We'll go ahead and get this thing started. Welcome to On The Sideline. I'm your host, Jeff Holden. We're here today with Big O.
God bless you.
Coach Evan Hearn. He's missing on his NCAA football right now.
Yeah,
and
talk about that
head coach, athletic director for Graham football, Coach Clay McChristian.
Glad to be here.
Thank you, sir, for coming. We appreciate you coming in, making the trip up here. I know it wasn't as easy as maybe, I don't know, I guess it's pretty easy, just an hour, right?
There's not much quick, from Graham, so we're an hour from everything, so
Okay.
It doesn't matter. So it's a quick trip up here. We come up here all the time.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so like I said, appreciate you coming up here. We don't have the means a lot of times to get out to all the different schools, especially adding 17 more schools this year. I don't know that we really covered you guys last year.
I don't think y'all did. So
Well, we started with basketball,
Okay.
so we didn't have a chance. So this is our first big year go at football. So
Gotcha.
we're excited to get this thing going. Football's right around the corner. We all know football's king in the state of Texas. Coach Evan Hearn came up with the idea of having you guys come in here. Everybody has their own view and their own expectations, the newspaper writings, the this, the that, but we thought the best way to really actually get a good preview would be from the head
That's
coach
the best
himself.
thing with high school coaches and high school coach, in general, is that it's such a great sport, but it's got so many different dynamics to it. Like you said, every coach has his own program, own way of doing things, and it doesn't mean anything's perfect, but you put your own spin on it, and hopefully when it all comes down to the ball getting kicked off, it's the right way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we'll go ahead and give it to Coach Hearn. He'll start asking some questions. We'll just kind of chime in when we can and, go from there.
All right, Coach. Appreciate you coming.
Glad to be here.
We are thankful to have you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, your life, how long you've been at Graham, your coaching?
Okay, yeah, I've been coach. I just finished up year 27, and
Wow.
15 of that been in Graham. So it's been a great
That's a
place.
blessing.
Yeah, it is. And that's, I guess I'm kind of a rare breed these days. You get some places, and I think 3 or 4 years now is a long time for a coach. So I've been blessed to be able to stay there, and great kids, great community, and it's one of those things. Back 15 years ago, you never know how long you're going to stay someplace. We knew we moved there, that we loved it, and then, man, every year it's just been better and better. And then luckily, this past year, Coach Davison retired, and Graham put it into my hands, for me to take the next step. So I'm excited about the opportunity, and I tell everybody I'm very proud of our past. We have a great tradition, and we've won lots of games, lots of titles, lots of district championships, and we got lots of trophies in the trophy case. But as much as I'm as proud of that, I'm excited about the future. We've got a lot of good plans, going in the future, and a lot of good things happening. So I'm excited about it.
Awesome, man.
All right, so you said 15 years at one place. Like you said, that is unheard of. So you were the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, defensive coordinator for all 14 and a half years. Started there with Brad McCoy, Colt McCoy's dad, and Case McCoy, all that. He hired me back 15 years ago, and I was just a little DC out in Stanton, Texas, and saw the job posted and really thought, man, I really have no desire to move. I liked Stanton. It was a great school, great kids out there, and thought, well, I'll just go up there and, brush up the interview skills a little bit. And next thing I know, 15 years later, I haven't left. So it turned out great.
Jackson played with you guys as well at one point. Jackson Shipley, was he on that team as well in Graham?
No, Jackson, when we played against him, he was at Brownwood.
Okay, in Brownwood.
And so we played against him. And I hate to bring this up, but he actually one night in 2009, when we played for state title that year, we doubled him the whole night, and he still ended up with 375 yards receiving.
Oh, my God.
And, that was my welcome to Graham moment of, I thought I had a good plan. Jackson had other thoughts on that.
Okay.
So obviously you were the DC, but could you tell us what was Graham's record last year and how far did you guys go in the playoff?
We were 10-2 last year and ended up meeting a tough West Plains team in the second round. So we won the first playoff game against Hillsboro, and then second round, it was 2 top 10 teams that met up in the second round, and we had a good battle with them, but they came out on top that week. So 10-2 and went 2 rounds deep.
Good. So I know the talk of the town, or should I say talk of Graham, and really the 9-4 is your quarterback. And so with that said, how many offensive and defensive starters do you guys have returning?
We got quite a bit. We have 8 offensive starters coming back, and of those 8, probably at least 6 of those are going to be 3-year starters now. So we've had some of those guys that have grown up from being sophomores and juniors, and now we get to see some of that payoff as seniors. And so we've got 8 coming back on offense and 6 coming back on defense.
Okay.
I got a question real quick. Do you have any underclassmen that are coming up, maybe freshman or sophomore, that might be making the team?
We've got a couple of, we have so much experience coming back on skill-wise, but O-line is we're going to have a couple of young guys on there, and we've got a couple of kids I think are going to be good. We've got a kid named Tyson Louder. It's got a chance to fight for a starting spot, and I say little, he's about 6'4", 305, and so he's going to be quite a bit, big sophomore for us. But he's in a good battle with some other kids. That's the good thing. We got the best teams you have are the ones that have competition in every position. So we've got a lot of spots that we got some good competition going in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very good.
Yeah, let's talk about those players you got returning. Like I said, your quarterback, Ty Thompson. Yeah. I saw he committed to Colorado
School of Mines.
School of Mines, and we were down there in Golden, Colorado, my family 2 years ago, or last summer. So it's a great place. And I know that school is a top-tier Division II school for people who do not know. But talk about Ty and talk about some of your starters returning.
And Ty he's one of those that, again, he started we didn't really want it, but he started as a freshman. And so anytime you have to start a freshman quarterback, it's never really what you want.
Right.
But he had the physical skill set to do it. And so we had a little bit of, we have a rich history in quarterbacks, going back 15 years, going back to Case McCoy back in 2009. And we've had lots of successful quarterbacks. And we had just a little bit of a glitch there right in the middle where we didn't have another returner coming back. And so we looked at it, and Ty gave us our best option and did a good job as a freshman that year. But now what he learned as a freshman, then came back as a sophomore, then last year as a junior, very ready to get to see a kid 4 years. Mm-hmm. And so we're looking for the payoff on that. And he's just a great kid. He's what you want leading your team. He's one of those that he's the first one in the field house. I know it's a cliche to say, but he really is. He's the first one in there. He'll stay up there all night if we let him watch film. Mm-hmm. He will shut this place down. Lifts. He does it all. He's a great kid, great character, and that's why we had lots of schools, offering him. And his thing is he's also, I think, ranked the top 3 in his class.
Yes.
So that's why he get a chance to go to the School of Mines. That's an engineering school,
yes.
And so to go there, you better have your academics in line, and he did. And so it's going to be we already have one of our past players, one of our coaches on staff, Greg Lee, our new defensive coordinator. His son has been playing linebacker for School of Mines for the last couple of years. And so we got a little bit of a connection up there. And so got him up there, and he loved it, and the rest is history.
So one thing I heard you say, and that was going to be a question I asked. So you said you have a new defensive coordinator. So are you going to be more I've seen facets of it being done different ways. Are you going to kind of focus on trying to make sure everything, like the little things of being a head coach, to make sure operation and kind of not being more hands-off on the defensive side, or is it going to kind of be hard for you because that's kind of what you've been doing for the last?
It's going to be hard for me. Defense is in my blood. Back, I don't know, 20 years ago, I was an OC for a couple of years and realized that was a dark side, man. That was a dark moment in my life. And so I'm never going back to that side again. And since then, I've been on the defensive side of the ball, and 15 years of it now in Graham. I couldn't give it up. So Coach Lee, we're going to work hand in hand together. And we did this past couple of years. He's up in the box. I'm down the field. He does a lot of our tendency work. He does a lot of the, our down and distance stuff. And so he's always in my ear, helping me out with, what calls he thinks is going to be good. And so we're going to keep that working. That's one of the big pieces of advice I got from a lot of coaches that have been head coaches or currently head coaches was, don't give up what got you there. Mm-hmm. And lots of head coaches, they take over a job because they were really good, play caller or really good on the defensive side. And then when they take that head coaching role, they give up what kind of got them the job.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm taking that advice to heart. Plus the fact it's in my blood. So I'm going to keep on calling it.
So you said OC was a little dark for you. Are you going to call plays this year, or is it going to be your OC?
No. That's I tell you, the number one thing. I don't care where, if it's NFL, if it's college or high school, it's always about your offense. Everybody loves to score points, And so I tell all of our offensive coaches all the time. I said, you guys have the hardest job because the score at the end of the game could be 66-64, and everybody's going to walk out of there happy because they're entertained.
Yeah.
I said, they walk out of a 7-0 game, and they're like, that's the worst game I've ever seen.
Boring.
Yes, it's boring. And so I said,
you win, yep.
You guys need to entertain. Y'all got to have to go with the gladiator theme of, are you not entertained? So I actually brought our old OC back that was back with us through 4 of our semifinal appearances. Casey Dacus. He was here, and then because of our success, he became the head coach down in Navasota, and went down there. That was his hometown, and luckily, I went after him, and got him back to come back to Graham, and it's a great fit. He and I have been best friends for a long time, and while we were there together, and then once he left, we still stayed very close. And so when I had the opportunity to bring him back, I thought, man, I can't pass up that opportunity.
Sounds very cool. So he'll be calling the plays.
He'll be calling the plays. I'll turn the offense over to him and say, go entertain people.
There you go.
At Orthopedics Express, our primary focus is delivering exceptional care to patients with orthopedic injuries, such as sprains, strains, broken bones, and joint pain. You'll receive the expert care you need when you need it most. Simply walk in or schedule an appointment through MyChart. Located inside the Center for Advanced Orthopedics, Orthopedics Express is your fast track to orthopedic care.
Speaking of offense and defense, twofold question. From an offensive standpoint, what's your philosophy and scheme for offense? And then the second part of that question is what is the defensive scheme that Graham likes to run?
Offensively, last year we were up tempo, 10 personnel, throw it around quick. This year we don't really have those type of receivers. We've got some good receivers. We have some bigger bodies, but we have a lot more tight end types. So we're going to kind of change it up, maybe run a little bit more 1 and 2 tight end sets. We're still going to be a run the ball. That's the one thing with Coach Dacus, and it fits well with my philosophy on defense is control the clock, control the ball. We're going to go there. If we can run the ball, we're going to run it. And then we'll use that to use some play action off of that. But, people, when they play us, they're going to find a physical brand of football. And you better stop the run first. If not, it's going to be a long night. And so we're going to stick with those, usually the 1 and 2 tight end packages. Defensively, we're going to stick back probably right now. You always look and you toy with stuff, but going back into our 3-3 defense. We've been that for a while. All my 15 years, we started out in a 4-man front early on, and then we were actually playing Burke Burnett, back probably 10 years ago, and they had a 6'4" receiver out there that was phenomenal. They had a kid, I can't remember his name, who played running back. Yes, Chafin.
And Kobe Youngblood.
Yeah, and they had a running back, and
that was Kobe Youngblood.
And we changed our whole scheme up from a 4-man front to a 3-man, and we never looked back. And so we never gotten away from that again. So we'll be back in that.
Good game.
It was a good game.
So you talked about Ty. Can you talk some more about your players from the offensive side and defensive side as well?
Yeah, of course it starts with Ty up, at quarterback position, but he's got a real good weapon beside him in Ryland Muncie, our running back. He also will be a 3-year starter. And so he's not, well, I say he's not real big. He's actually, right now I need to give a shout out to our new strength coach that we brought in this past spring, and he's done a phenomenal job. Ryland last year was probably 5'9". I think he played at about 153 pounds. And I think right now he's 175. So he's put on about 20 pounds. So he's looking right. So Ryland Muncie's our running back. We also have Isaiah Flores will be helping us at running back. Receiver-wise, we've got Harrison Brockaway. He'll be a senior. We've got Jace Gill will be another receiver. We got Braden Riggins. He's another 6'3", 6'4" receiver, our right wide out there. And then Hayden Horn's going to be our Y. So we've got a lot of our kids, and all these ones I'm talking about are seniors. Besides Jace Gill, he'll be a junior. All the rest of those kids will all be seniors. So we're senior heavy with a lot of experience behind us. And so it's going to be good. It's some of those growing pains you go through when they're younger. Hopefully that's out of their system, and now we just get to reap the benefits of those.
Yeah. I mean, with a senior class that heavy, obviously, their leadership's going to dump down to the younger kids. I mean, do you have as many the seniors are heavy? Do you have as many underclassmen that you're excited about that will touch the field or do anything for you this year?
We're going to probably carry about 40 on the varsity, and I think 27 of those will be seniors. So it's going to be a heavy, heavy senior class. So probably the biggest senior class we've probably had maybe since I've been in Graham in 15 years. And a lot of them, and it's not just guys, but we've got some dudes. A lot of those guys can play, and so you look at. We talked kind of on offense, the skill guys, but up front, we've got right now, position-wise, we're still kind of putting it all together, but we're going to probably have 3 senior offensive linemen coming back, and that's where it all starts.
Soundproof room you got. Sorry.
Being downtown.
Sorry, go ahead.
we got 3 senior linemen coming back on there, and we all know that's what it starts with. Our senior linemen, we have a couple underclassmen with them, but it doesn't matter how well you throw the ball around. It doesn't matter all that stuff. If those big boys up front can't move people, it doesn't matter. If they can't protect Ty, it doesn't matter.
And then your defensive guys you were talking, did you mention those guys?
No, I haven't yet. Defensively, we've got a real good defensive lineman. They're not the biggest guys up there, but they understand leverage. They've got a motor. There's some great kids. And so we run a 3-man front, but I got four seniors coming back. They'll be playing predominantly those 3 spots. But then we got a couple of younger underclassmen that's going to be helping out on there also. So we try and run 7 to 8 on defensive line. Since we're a little undersized, we try and bring a little bit more bodies at you and keep them fresh. Then you have to go against those big boys. Then I got 3 senior linebackers behind them, and 2 of those guys will be 3-year starters. Right in the middle, we play a 3-high defense. If you kind of remember back TCU a couple years ago, Iowa State.
Yep.
Yeah, we play a 3-high defense, and so we lost the district defensive MVP. We call him our Jack Backer. He's that middle safety. We lost him. He was district MVP, a 3-year starter, and really was a big hole for us. But we got a kid who moved back to Graham from Weatherford. He grew up there. His dad coached for us back 10 years ago. And he said, man, he wants to come back and play for Graham. He wants to graduate Graham. He loves that place. And so we brought him back. His name is Bruin Wright. And he'll be a senior. And just through 7-on-7, man, he's shown us that he can play.
Bruin.
Yes, Bruin Wright.
That's a football name.
That is a football name. And he's a football player. He's got all the intangibles. He's got the speed, the strength. But he's a coach's kid. And so he has all the mental part down. And so I can see him doing some great things for us.
That's awesome. As you know, having that many seniors on your team, and the expectations for this season's probably got to be pretty high.
Yeah, they are. I tell everybody, in Graham, they're high every year. It doesn't matter. They don't care how many we graduate. We'll graduate these 27 seniors, and the expectations will be as high than next year. And it's a good thing I don't want to be at a place where we don't have expectations. There are some people, I just talked to the team this morning about, there are some people right now talking about, hey, we're going to make a push for district. We're going to, make a push to be 500. That's not what we talk about. We're talking about, how many trophies we're going to put in that case. And I tell our guys, if we can't talk about it, then we're not going to go get it. We got to be bold enough and be confident enough to talk about where we want to go, what we want to accomplish. So let's just go do it.
Yeah,
a mentality, winning mentality. If that's just a winner's mentality, and it starts from, like you said, from the coaches to the community, and it trickles down to the player. So that winning tradition is 27 or 0-7. I mean, Graham's gonna find a way to get up and win. So that's just what they do.
That's the expectation. We had a coach from I think it was Seminole back 10, 12 years ago. We just beaten them pretty good, and he got both teams together, and he walked up to me and our head coach and said, let me just tell you something. Y'all have a problem on your hands. And we said, what's that? He said, the problem with building a monster is you got to feed that monster. And he said, this community wants to be fed in Graham. I said, no, they do. Like I said, it doesn't matter. They almost get a little spoiled of, hey, we're not going to come out to the first playoff game. We'll wait till 2 or 3. And we're like, but they're a great community. But that support and that expectation, to the kids, they feel that. That's why they show up. That's why we had, over 300 kids showing up to Speed and Strength. And, this morning, every day we got 300 kids because those parents expect it and those kids know what that expectation is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I think you've answered your question as far as what your strengths will be of this team since they're going to be senior heavy. So as you were talking about, how important has the Graham community been? I mean, like you said, for a coach to be there 15 years, that doesn't happen. So it's the town, the people of it. What has made you fall in love with Graham?
It's I guess the easy way to put it is, what is it not to fall in love with? You when you come in, it's just a beautiful town in general, but there's not an awful lot around it. That's kind of, I talked to some of my friends that, they're closer to the Metroplex and like, oh man, we can go do this. Some of these bigger cities, there's other things to do. In Graham, it's about sports, and, it's about supporting our athletics, but also our band and our cheerleaders. When we show up on Friday, when you go around the town, it's about the game and not just the football, about everybody who's involved in it. And So when you go back and you talk to people in town, they all want to know, what are you going to do this week? What's the change? And that could be good and that could be bad, because if it's never what they think, they're going to let you know their opinion on it.
They'll be disappointed in a 7-0 victory.
Yes,
there you go.
Exactly
they won
right.
66, yeah.
But no, it's just been a great place, and one that I hope I can finish out my career there. I hope one day I can say, man, when I hang it up, whatever that will be, I can say I hang it up with a Graham hat on.
The realtor we trust is Kim Roark, given to others with love. Kim was raised in this community and has been selflessly serving for over 20 years. Kim encourages everyone to thrive in their purpose. Kim is part of the Homes for Heroes program, where she gives back a portion of her commissions from each closing to all military, firefighters, law enforcement, healthcare, and educators who use her services. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Kim is the realtor for you. Go check out the website, homesforheroes.com. Since starting from scratch in 2020 by longtime resident of Clay County, Bob Belcher, Duck Creek Disposal has quickly become one of the most trusted waste disposal service and dumpster rental companies serving the 940 community and the surrounding areas. Local to the core, they take immense pride in being a part of the Wichita Falls community. Duck Creek Disposal's deep roots mean that every customer is treated like a neighbor. Their promise is to guarantee the best customer experience in the area, and they live by it. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or business, they've tailored their services to suit varied requirements. Bob's hands-on approach and belief in personal connection means that when you call Duck Creek Disposal, you're experiencing a standard of service that Bob himself envisioned. You talk to real people, not a machine. Go give Bob a call at 940-257-5660. Serving the 940 community for 12 years, Allegiance Electric and Controls is the trusted go-to for commercial and industrial electrical solutions. Contact them for reliable, tailored services to keep your operations running smoothly. Please call or visit their website at aecllc.com. For all your paving and concrete needs, we trust Freeman Paving, LLC. Located in Vernon, Texas, Freeman Paving is our recommended business for concrete, paving, and dirt work. They have over 20 years of experience working right here in our community. Next time you need any concrete work, give them a call, 940-552-9496. If you're looking to treat yourself to a delicious dessert, then Yogurt Journey is the place to be. Yogurt Journey offers 12 delicious flavors of frozen yogurt with over 60 topping options. If you want something warm instead, stop by to enjoy an amazing funnel cake, fried Oreos, fried brownies, or fried candy. Yogurt Journey also offers frozen yogurt rolls, waffle frozen yogurt rolls, and smoothies. If you need a cake for your next celebration, Yojo provides custom frozen yogurt cakes. Yogurt Journey is located on Kemp Street across from Barwise Middle School and is open daily from 12 to 9 p.m. For all your roofing related needs, we choose Assured Roofing and Construction. At Assured Roofing and Construction, their hard work is based off honesty, loyalty, and integrity, ensuring that every customer gets what they deserve and is happy and stress-free throughout the entire process. When any storm damage occurs to your roof, gutters, fencing, or siding, Assured will have you covered and help you from the initial free inspection to filing your claim, meeting with adjusters, and getting your damaged property fixed properly. Give AG a call at 940-782-1194. Very cool.
So let's talk about your non-district schedule.
Man, it's different. The same thing building that monster. It's also hard building a schedule.
There you go.
It's probably the hardest thing to do is when every 2 years when you have to start building your schedule, you don't get a lot of phone calls and you get a lot of hang-ups. Every time you call somebody, Coach, I think we're full.
Yeah.
Oh, Coach. But this year we're starting out with Midland Christian, a good powerhouse team in private school out there, West Texas out there. They're always solid. You never know what you're going to get with them. But with those private schools, they graduate a lot of their skill, but they'll bring in a lot of those kids from Permians and Midland High and those schools around there. And so they reload every year. So they'll be a tough matchup. Springtown's our week 2. Springtown's been a team, I think we've been playing them for probably 12, 13 years, and it's a battle every year. Coach Hewlett does a fine job. Him and his staff do a great job over at Springtown. We were lucky enough to get the best of them last year. They'd gotten us the best of us the year before, and I think every year we kind of switch back and forth. But they'll be battle-tested. Week 3, another one, Whitesboro, a new one to us. I couldn't find a week 3. I was walking all over Birdville ISD, and all the coaches had emptied, and a guy comes next to me, and he's got a W, and he goes, you need a week 3? And I said, I don't care. Yes. And I said, where are you? He goes, Whitesboro. I said, yes, it doesn't matter. And so then I was asking, how good are these
Canada.
guys? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Now I didn't have it as bad as Carthage. We were at a coaching clinic, and Coach Surratt sent one of his coaches to the DFW clinic, and we're just standing out there, and he comes by and, hey, y'all need a game? And I said, no, we're good.
Yeah.
And he goes, I said, how many times have you heard that today? He goes, more than you want to know. He said, he told me not to come back unless I pick up some games. He goes, I got to find a coaching job because I can't go back.
Yeah.
But we go with Whitesboro, week 3. Week 4, we got a tough Decatur team.
Yes.
Another powerhouse every year. We haven't played them in a few years. We played them every year. They were in our district there for a little bit. We got them week 4. And then week 5, we have Lake Worth. Lake Worth just got him a new coach. So we've got a real good non-district schedule. It's what we need. If you want to make a run, you better be battle tested.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those that it'll be a process. You have some kids who have to grow into positions, and what we start at won't be what we look like at the end of district. And so we just tell the kids, stay the course, learn every week, get better. But I think that non-district schedule is really going to help us for a playoff run.
And so that's, like you said, that's part of it, making your non-district strong, because it's the end result.
Yes.
Like you said, being battle tested for your team. So as a first-year coach, you're not running away from it. You're sticking your chest out high. Let's talk about your new district schedule. Did you guys change with
We
the
did,
rivalry
yeah.
alignment?
We completely changed up. They had us out in West Texas the last 2 years, and so we were when we were out there with Midland and Greenwood, that was a long trip. We had Snyder, we had Sweetwater, and we had Hershey, and then we were us. And so between us and Hershey, we were making a lot of those trips out to West Texas. And so it's good that we got back this way. We kind of thought once we saw Burke was going to drop down back to our division again. Burke had been up one division. As soon as we saw they dropped back down, we kind of thought, wow, that's going to pull us back, north and east again, and it did. So some of the schools on that one now, of course, what everybody's been talking about for years, Brock. That's since when they came up, it's been, if we played you and if we played y'all, that's been the talk for all these years. Well, finally everybody gets to see what they've been talking about for all these years, and so got a lot of respect for Coach Massey out there. He does a great job. Coach Mathis, they run a great program, and so they've got good kids. We've got good kids. They're well coached. We're well coached. And so it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere. And
Battle of the Blue.
It's going to be the Battle of the Blue. And so we've got that one.
A new rivalry.
It's
A new rivalry is in the making, or what?
It is. It is. Well, people always ask us, they say, man, who's Graham's rivalry?
That was actually going to be one of my questions. Yeah.
It might be cliche to say, but man, we feel like we're everybody's.
Yeah.
We're the school where everybody circles us. And it's like, if we knock off Graham, we're pretty good. And so we tell our kids, we're going to get everybody's best shot every week. So you better prepare like it. So we don't have a week of, well, let's take this one off. Let's back off a little bit, because we know there's a lot of good programs out there. Every team we play on our schedule, we can lose, and I tell our kids, we can win or lose every single week that we show up. So you better prepare, like it's the Super Bowl, like it's that state championship.
Yeah, I think that Brock and Graham are clearly the top two teams over in that new district.
Right.
So, I mean, Battle of the Blues by Big O right here. He might
He's
have called
it right there.
This could be a big rivalry in the forming. Forming this big rivalry.
Put it on
that'd
a
be pretty
T-shirt.
cool. So who else? I know the other teams, but for the listeners, who else is in your district?
Yeah, we've got Burke Burnett, who dropped back down again, and Coach Williams. He's done a good job. He took over from DC to the head coach now. I think he's probably gonna be on your show also. He's doing a great job. They'll be, I don't know everything they've got coming back. I know I think they may have a quarterback, a running back, a couple of linemen coming back, and so they'll be solid. They're always a good team. The last couple of years they've been real solid. Then you got Bridgeport. They just got a new coach. They have been down the last couple of years, but I've heard some real good things about their new coach. So I'm sure he'll get in there and get things turned around. So they'll be solid. Then we've got Mineral Wells right down the road from us. Coach Worrell down there, and he's done a good job. And we played those guys in 7-on-7 this year, and he's doing some good stuff with those guys. They look right, they're playing right, they got great attitudes, and so I think that's one's going to be a battle with them also. So those three good schools there and us, I think it's going to be a battle every single week.
Yeah, I think so.
So you talked about everybody circles a game against Graham. Do you have one circled?
There you go.
the next one.
I think that's been a popular answer.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it is. We can't look too far ahead. You know, that's where you get in trouble. And so, you know, I think this year with our non-district and our district schedule, you know, we can't overlook anybody. Yeah, that's what we try and tell our kids is that you better earn the right every single week, okay, to sit there and go put the numbers up on the board. And so practice like it, prepare like it, and then let your play take care of it in the end.
So I have a question about your your scheduling period. I've heard coaches say different things about scheduling. With having such a tough by district schedule, what's your take on it? Because I've heard coaches talk about running the risk of injury, or kids being banged up playing that many tough opponents before district, and some coaches choose the latter of maybe I wouldn't say scheduling competition is not as good, but just being cautious of how they scheduling. I like your approach of being battle tested before going into district. So when you do your scheduling, like how do you come about, like what's your approach? Do you consider the possibility of being being banged up going into district, or do you just let the chips fall the way the chips fall?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Unfortunately, we don't have the option of saying, hey, let's play a couple of weaker opponents. We just don't get that opportunity. So everybody who calls us, like right now you look at Millen Christian, they're basically a 4A Division I, so they're bigger than us. We're 4A Division II, they're bigger. Springtown's 4A Division I, Decatur's 4A Division I. I think Whitesboro is actually 3A Division I, so they're lower than us, which we haven't got to play a lower division opponent in a while. And then Lake Worth is 4A Division I. And so every year we're just used to playing those bigger schools in non-district. It is a worry. It's something that you do, but we try in non-district to develop a lot of depth. And so we play a lot of guys, like I said, defensive line-wise, we'll run 7-8 people. Linebacker-wise, I've got 3 starters, but I'll play 2 or 3 other guys a lot rotating through there. We rotate secondary receivers. So we're going to play a lot of kids during non-district. So in case somebody does go down, whether it be week 2 or week 10 or week 4 in the playoffs, you got a kid who can step in there that's not real green at that point. Now he can step in and say, no, I've got some time under my belt. So it's definitely a worry. But we haven't had the opportunity to say, hey, let's do a lighter schedule. But we wouldn't want that anyway, just because, man, you got to get yourself ready. You can sit there and play lesser teams, and when you look at it and you say, well, we're winning everything 50-0, what's that getting you in the long run? The long run is, man, you better get yourself ready and be able to find out your weaknesses. Because if you don't play those tough opponents, you're going to look up and think, well, we're pretty good, and don't find those holes in your team. You're not going to see, hey, we're not good at stopping the run, or we're not good on this, our line protection. You got to find those weaknesses, and you better get yourself exposed early so you can solve those up when you get to that playoffs.
Okay, so my next question to piggyback off of that, just from a philosophy standpoint, I guess it's a 2-part question. Do you guys lift during the season?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
yes.
And the reason I ask that is because I've heard coaches, I believe it as well, that lifting and conditioning like that in the season helps prevent a lot of the injuries that your muscles and things probably wouldn't be firing and activating. Do you guys strongly believe that since you've been there a while, did Graham always lift during the season?
We always have.
Okay.
It's been a staple, back. And we coached I told you our offensive coordinator, Coach Dacus, came for us. He kind of brought the Stephenville lifting program. He'd coached at Stephenville for a while, so he kind of brought that lifting philosophy with us of mentality of don't worry about being sore. Don't worry about being tired. It's a mentality to get through that. And so you're lifting during the season, you're not looking for a lot of gains, but you're looking to keep the strength that you have. But it's also a mentality of toughness of you can handle this. Don't worry about a little bit of soreness. And so I think when you can get your kids mentally tough as well as physically tough, well, that's going to pay dividends. So we've always believed in it. And now we have our new strength coach who actually played for me in 2009 on that 2009 team. He was our corner. He came into us, and, man, he's phenomenal. And he definitely believes in lifting, anytime we can get in there. But he's smart with it. And I think that's the key is you got to be smart when you lift, how you lift. We'll do a game day lift. He just calls it the game day pump. Yep. So you go in there and you just get that, that blood flowing. It's not trying to do anything to wear you out, but it's just good to get yourself in that morning and get you going. So our kids don't mind it at all. They're like, let's get our lift.
Refresh your ride during the Thrill of Summer sales event at Nissan of Wichita Falls. Come see our great lineup of new Nissans. including the all-new Nissan Rogue and the new 2024 Nissan Frontier. Nissan of Wichita Falls has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles and a service staff of certified Nissan technicians, backed by the best parts department in Texoma. We're locally owned and operated with a sales team you can trust at Nissan of Wichita Falls.
And I'll say how important a strength and conditioning coach is, because like I do, that is another realm and another world, as far as it takes some load off you guys or you coaches' plates.
It is the best hire that we have had.
Yes.
And I think we're ahead of the curve.
Yes.
You got a lot of the 5A and 6A schools that have it, but 4A and down.
Yeah, some of the new was it Newcastle? He said that they just got one and at a 1A, but I think that, like you said, that's got to be one of the most important coaches. Not only because you don't have to worry about that, but like for the kids and the health and the injury prevention and all that. So
everything you just said is exactly what we were just talking to him about today. Is that I said I don't have to worry about that part of it. And with our strength guy, is he understands all the science and the nuances behind it for injury prevention. So that's one of the big things is when he sees some kid, he works hand in hand with our trainers.
Yes.
So half the time you wouldn't be able to tell who's our trainer and who's our strength coach because they're working so closely together on rehab. And he'll take him in there and put him through some type of a lift that's a rehab element. And so I can't say enough about, getting our strength coach, because having Graham ISD, our school board okayed that, phenomenal hire for us.
Okay, one thing I want to piggyback off of too, and this is just a segue plug for Graham as well, and then just for the listeners to hear this and maybe motivate some other schools to get. You said you had 300 kids participating in your summer today and the conditioning and strength program. Right. What would you say your average numbers have been all summer?
We started out the first few weeks, we're right over 300. We were probably 330. We're probably averaging, we just took our 2-week break because we went, our first session, took a 2-week break. Everybody gets to go on their vacations, do that kind of stuff. And then we just started back today. We were probably still at we're probably mid 200s, maybe upper 200s. But a lot of our girls were in team camp because our volleyball, and that's the part. It's not just our guys program.
Yes.
We look up there. We'll have we run 3 sessions. So our first session is our varsity and JV guys, and we'll run around 70 to 75 in that session. Our girls will bring. They're all the girls. They'll bring over 100 in theirs, and then we have a younger session, and they'll bring over 100 in that one. So you start putting them all together. We're probably averaging mid to upper 200s.
Okay. Would you say these numbers have been steady, maybe not just this year, but this has kind of been like a tradition of what the kids buy in and they come and participate in the summer workouts, or have you seen bigger gains this summer than in the past?
It's always been big. We've always had good numbers. This is by far the best numbers we have. We kind of keep a track of it. We're always in that upper 200s. This year when we pushed 330 on the first signups, that's the first time we've ever had that many over 300. And so I say the overall average is the highest it's ever been, but it's been that way for a while. Coach Falk is our girls' coordinator, head volleyball coach, and she pushes it big time. And so when you have all your girls, you walk into that weight room and you see it packed with girls from 7th grade all the way up through seniors, you're doing something right on both sides of it. And I think that's the best thing about Graham. It's not just about football. It's about our girls program. It's about basketball and baseball and softball and soccer. And when you go out to our speed and strength, you're going to see all those kids out there.
Very cool. So one question I've kind of asked all the coaches is what does a typical game day look like for Coach McChristian from the time you wake up to the time you lay your head down?
That'll be different because he's in the headman room.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to let you. I have to call you back. Yeah, I've always been the DC.
So then let me just add something. As a new coach, you probably had some kind of traditions or something that you guys have done in the past as a football team, whether it's tying your shoes together or whatever. Is there anything that you're finally the head coach? Is there anything that you're wanting to start, or maybe something that you're just going to continue about Graham football as far as a tradition or some kind of thing that you do every game day, or listen to the same music or eat the same thing? Just give us a little insight into Graham football as what they do.
They call me Coach, no fun. Like the guys on my staff, because I'm not I don't have any superstitions. I don't care. I'll wear a different shirt, shoes. It doesn't matter. I tell everybody, guys, it's how we play. It's how we prepare, and so I'm going to eat something different. Our kids have a team dinner they do the night before. They have a little campfire thing. They go out there and they get together at the campfire and they, try and, talk to each other about what their roles are. I think that's been big, and that's been going for 15 years. I'm sure they'll keep that going. I'm just big on, stealing it from Nick Saban, just the process, man. It's just, what do you do on Monday? What do you do on Tuesday? What do you do on Wednesday? And whatever you do throughout the entire week is going to show up on Friday night. And so if I have to wear a different shirt and that causes us to lose a game, then, man, we're doing something wrong. And so
it ain't the shirt, huh?
No, it ain't the shirt. It's not the shoes. It's not what I eat. And so I know baseball coaches out there are cringe because they're the most superstitious people in America, And so, there's nothing. My thing is, let's just do your job.
Yeah.
So my last question is, what will the Graham Steers look like this year under your head coach direction?
Man, we better see a physical team, and that's both sides of the ball. We're bringing this a new style of offense kind of in there with multiple tight ends. It's going to be physical. I've been in charge of the defense for years, and I've always told us we're going to play fast and physical and fearless. And how do you play fast? Man, know what you're doing. Be well coached. So I think if you watch a Graham team, you're going to see a physical team, but a well-coached team. And don't make mistakes. Don't beat yourself. Make the other team do something special to beat you. If you walk in there and you go back and you grade out and you're grading yourself, whatever unit it is, it's 60%, you've beat yourself. Make the other team have to be special. And I tell our kids all the time, we don't have to be special. If you'll go do your job and do the routine, make the routine ordinary, just do it, you're going to be fine. You don't have to be special.
Yeah, I think finish us off with his famous question.
Yeah, so it's
might have been answered already, but
yeah, twofolds. I'm gonna change it up a little bit just because you did kind of answer a little bit. So just to plug for the community of Graham, what's your favorite place to eat at in Graham?
Man, a new place just came open, and we're gonna go there tonight, but it's closed. The Hatchet House, man, they got the axe throwing and stuff like that, but man, they've got a menu that's out of this world. So yeah, probably Hatchet House, and Mi Familia is a close second, man. There's some good Mexican food.
Yeah, I knew you was going to say that. The place is good. Okay, and then the last thing, my other part of the question is, if you had I know you don't have tradition of what you like to do, but what's a pregame meal that you guys try to make sure, if you can, something that that you would like to feed the kids?
Man, we have a car dealership there that always donates us a pregame meal, and then they're great with it. But our new strength coach didn't like it. They brought in chicken tenders. And he goes, we're cutting out. We ain't doing chicken tenders. So we got that taken out. And so now he brought in Subway. And so we're doing the good sandwiches and the protein bars.
Probably ain't much different between Subway and those chicken tenders.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to probably keep on doing that pregame. If it was up to the coaches, we'd have Hatchet House or barbecue in that place. That's what we want to eat. But when those kids come in, we're going to have them with probably their Subway sandwiches and make sure they're pounding that water, hydrating.
Yeah. So, man, there's so many questions I feel like we could be asking and talking all day. Yeah. Unfortunately, we got to, bring its thing to a close. Yeah. But, man, I appreciate you coming out.
I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. Do you got anything else for us? Or?
No, I appreciate what you guys do. Anytime that you guys can, bring, people to the game, and during a preseason, this is one of the best times of the year. Because everybody's 0-0 right now. Everybody thinks they're fixing to go win a state title. They are, and so you guys bringing awareness and bring coaches in there. It just brings the communities out there, and high school football is awesome. Mm-hmm. It's a great sport. It brings kids together. It brings communities together, and so what you guys are doing with this is just awesome.
Well, we appreciate it, and so. That's the end. Right. We appreciate you coming out. We wish you best of luck. 10-2 last year. We're expecting 11-1 or better.
I like it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Appreciate you. Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Take care.